This week, we've been looking at clauses and improving our writing by adding clauses to simple sentences.
Having planned with her colleagues and with the agreed learning outcomes clearly in mind, Sheena teaches the first study lesson, trying out the pedagogies they hope will be effective.
Today, we're going to watch a short video clip, and whilst you're watching it, I want you to be aware that afterwards in your tasks, I'm going to ask you to add some clauses to simple sentences that we're taking from the video clip. So I'm going to ask for groups to specifically focus on one thing whilst they're watching the clip. I'm going to ask you here to look at what the girl in the clip can see, and I'm going to ask you to do the same. What can she see? Okay, now I've had a chance to watch the video, I'm going to give you a little opportunity to talk on your tables. Off you go. First of all, I'm going to ask you to think about what you heard in that video clip. Who thinks they heard something that would be really interesting for us to add? Maggie, what did you hear?
When she walked in the room with the wardrobe in it, you could hear the fly buzzing in the corner.
That's a really interesting detail. That's great, Maggie.
I think mine would work better at the start because trembling in fear, comma,
Yeah.
it just makes more sense and it's got better effect.
I think my one sounds better at the beginning than it did at the end because the girl walked into the vast room taking a deep breath. Doesn't really make the words flow into like a clear sentence. But if it was at the beginning, I think it sounds better.
During the lesson, Emma and Kate focus on observing the target children.
Then we had the fly buzzing.
I like the pitter-patter on the window of rain.
Yeah.
And then
In the wardrobe, the clothes when she...
rustling.
Yeah.
And then when she came into the snow, I think she heard the footsteps of the snow and stuff.
And that boy counting in the background.
They watch carefully to see how each of the target children reacts in the different learning contexts. In whole class sessions, whilst interacting with others, in guided writing and when working independently.
What we've got is almost the same as the video clip that we watched. And if we look at the very first sentence, the girl walked into the large room, we'll see it's almost the same as the one we used. What I want you to do now is to think to yourself, if you could choose any clause to add to that first simple sentence, what would you choose? Maybe it would be one of the ones we have on our green cards, or maybe it would be something different, thinking about what you saw on that video clip. Have a think, and perhaps you'd like to talk just to each other a moment. What clause do you think you might add?
Yeah, I could do all in amazement or...
They assess how well, or otherwise, the target children are learning, and whether the desired outcomes are being achieved. They make careful notes, not on the quality of the teaching as such, but on the effectiveness for these children of the pedagogies they have helped to plan.
Well done. You've all worked really, really hard. Try to get the other bits and pieces whilst we're doing it, because it is lunchtime. I mean, we could all do our lunches now.